Awesome. Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Welcome to Sending Ravens. And as promised, I have my dear friend Ashella here. And I'm so happy to have you here, Ashella.
Oh my gosh, Janine, I am absolutely delighted to be here as well. It's amazing to see you after a number of years. It's been a few years
It,
since we've seen each other.
it has been. I mean, no one's seen anybody for at least a year and a half.
That's
But
right.
on top of that, yeah, you just
Yeah,
lose touch with close people. You know what I mean? But
totally.
Ashella's lovely daughter came to visit me. It was such a fun surprise. We had a day and a half, and it was like
Yeah.
a little magical blast from the past. And then I'm like, oh, we got to connect with Ashella. I have all of these people really wanting a tarot reader, and I'm not
Mm.
reading cards anymore. And I'm like, why don't I introduce them? I've already introduced them to Ashley, but why don't I introduce them to Ashella? Ashella and I studied tarot together, worked together, readings together. We did all kinds of work on astrology, numerology. I think,
Mhm.
what year was it again, Ashella?
Well, it was 2001, so 20 years ago.
2001.
Yeah,
Wow, right after 9/11.
right after 9/11.
That's right after that crazy time.
Mm-hmm.
Ashella and I ended up through a mutual friend sharing a household with our children. Well, at the time, I just had the one, and you had two then, didn't you, Ashella?
I had two, but my older daughter was kind of living on her own, remember? And then she came in right at the end and
That's
stayed with
right.
us. Yeah,
That's right. Oh, it was a wonderful household. It was like a goddess household.
it really was. And it was beautifully decorated by Janine. I really learned the art of interior design from you at that
Oh,
time.
well, you're doing really good because I love your background.
Thank you. Do I get good points now?
You get some good points on that background. Oh, it looks great.
I'm not kidding. I truly learned by watching how you set up your altars and how you designed the decor of your home. And I carried that with me in different places I lived after that. So thank you for that.
Awesome. So didn't I get really carried away on the walls in that house? And I just kind of did the wall tattooing all over.
It was beautiful, beautiful giant swirling spirals.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I bet the next tenants might not have thought so.
And we lived right next to a graveyard. So it was just the witchiest. Remember that?
Oh, we did. It was gorgeous up around there, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
it?
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was.
I often go driving up there still. Yeah.
Aw.
I love that place. Actually, I love that whole time in our life, actually.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
You
And
were such a good cook, Ashella.
oh,
Oh yeah, you were like an amazing cook. You made those amazing soups and stews. I was the curry girl. Yeah,
that's
we did some.
right.
We had some good uh, dinner parties.
Good dinner parties and feasts, and what an incredible community around us. And I was just thinking about my younger daughter. So my younger daughter and your daughter Raven, your older one,
Yeah.
spent a little bit of time together at that juncture. And
Mhm.
so my younger one has now gone on and she's living a super alternative lifestyle as well. And it just was reminding me because she has moved around to all these different kind of youth community houses. She's lived in Vancouver and in the Kootenays and in the Okanagan, and it's like this web of these young people that are all alternative minded, and they garden and they're part of like environmental activism projects, and they're all very artistic, and it's
Awesome.
just so beautiful. And they've got, like, I think we kind of did it like with our little community and our connections, but we did have some connections between communities because you had your people that you knew from the coast, and then we had our Kootenai friends, and that's how we actually met. But now I see this next generation, and they're doing it so intentionally. Like, all these houses have names, and they all link up, like they visit each other in different
Wow.
cities and stuff.
Oh,
And
that's wonderful.
because of the social media,
Mhm.
millennial interconnection, it's seamless. Like yeah, they like host each other and do big projects together and get work for each other, seasonal work and stuff. It's awesome.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. And I think my viewing audience would love to know a little bit about what you do, Ashella. So they've got it, they've got a little hint that you read tarot and do astrology and
Okay.
numerology, or you certainly have studied all of those things. So would you like to introduce some of the things you like to do?
I totally would. Yes, well, and I feel, Janine, that you're being very modest in saying we learned tarot together. In my opinion, I learned tarot from the master, and that is you sitting right over there. But yeah, so that I'm so grateful that you blessed me with that gift, that was something that you were so passionate about, and I just sort of jumped into your scene there, and I got like the homeschool version because we were doing readings and staying up late and drinking tea, and it was
Oh,
so
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And I developed my passion for this incredible tool, which I kind of blended with things that I'd also been interested in, different spiritual um, paths prior to that. And I had worked a bit with oracle cards and with the I Ching and stuff like that.
Yep.
And once I was introduced to the tarot, there was no turning back for me. It became like my most kind of solid tool that I always turn to. And I like to say it's like become a great friend. You know, like it's the thing that I can go to whatever I'm going through in my life, and I know I'm going to get an honest reflection, and I'm going to get guidance and support. And I feel like in these times that's so powerful, you know. So yeah, all these years later, I've been reading pretty much since, you know, since you introduced me to it and you said, oh, I think you've got a gift here, go for it, girl. And I did. And so yeah, it's getting on 2 decades that I've been reading professionally. And then I started sharing my passion in about 2007, doing these little weekend retreats teaching tarot. And then over the years, I'm a bit of a scholarly academic sort of researcher. And so I've been passionate about learning about the history of the tarot and how it connects with the history of our Western civilization, mythology, and all that kind of stuff. And so I bring a lot of that into what I share with my students, and then those passions kind of branched into other areas. So I got very interested. I had an interesting experience about 8 or 9 years ago. I'm adopted, and I found my birth family, and in doing that, I was gifted the background information about my ancestry, which I'd always been so curious about. And I don't know if you remember that years ago when I was doing readings, I used to have special abilities to tune in to people's ancestors. So mediums can connect with people who've recently crossed over or on the other side. Right. And I would get this information about ancestral lineage and stories that went back several generations. Yeah. And then when I found my birth family, I found out a lot about my own history, and that just set me going on this passion to learn how our ancestry and our genealogy is very connected to our lives, our present lives, and that there's a way that we can work with tools like the tarot and a 7-generation relational wheel system that I've been sort of fostering over these last few years. And I put that together and created another offering, which is ancestral healing sessions, and also working on another workbook to help people learn how to connect with their ancestors in a meaningful way.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And did you find out, was there anybody in the ancestral background for your own family? Did you find out if there were any readers, or Ashella is also a wonderful belly dancer. Like,
oh my gosh.
Not even talking
of course you say
dance.
that. I mean, thank you for that. But of course you say, because I actually have both of those things in my background.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So my grandfather, my mother's father, he was very psychic, and he used to work with the police finding missing people. He used to dream, he would dream locations of where people had gone missing. He'd have the dream
Wow.
about it, and he was right. And then he started sort of sharing
Oh
that
my
information. And yeah,
goodness. So
so
you
that,
come by it honestly.
I mean, that was just so sweet to hear that. Of course, he's passed
Yeah.
on. I didn't get to meet him, but I really felt
Yeah.
held by that. And then the other beautiful surprise was that um, my mother's mother was a belly dancer. Well, I wouldn't say she became a professional belly dancer, but when she was in her youth in New York City in the 1920s,
Oh,
she studied belly dance. She was
wow.
a flapper and she studied belly dance.
That is wild.
And my mom said that, they were out in the Maritimes and she'd get on her stuff and shake around. And
Oh, I love it.
so they were pretty tickled when they found out that I was a belly dancer.
I bet they were.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Now, Ashella has always been very inspiring to me. I ended up, well, like a muse. You're like a muse to me.
Likewise,
I
dear
just think you're
Janine.
so beautiful. And
Oh,
so I painted a Shella, and it was one of my very favorite paintings I've ever done, actually, and quite unlike most of my work. Wouldn't you say, a Shella?
I remember it being very colorful. I mean, I still have it. I was saying
Yeah.
to Janine, unfortunately, I don't have it right here. I would have put it right behind me today, but of course you won't recognize me because now my hair is white and it used to be your color.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It was like almost a life-size painting.
It was, I think, larger than life size.
Yeah,
Huge. I
yeah,
mean, it still
yeah,
is. And
yeah.
so colorful.
Yeah, it was a
It-
lot of fun to do. Now I'm going to search that picture up for the viewers, and I'm going to like it's probably just a photograph somewhere in my
yeah.
house. So I'm going to put it up on the community page. So everybody keep an eye out probably in the next week by the time I scrounge around and look for it.
I'm going to look too in my old
We'll find it. We'll
old
track it
computers and
down.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of these things after
Yeah, if it was
years.
closer, I mean, it's literally 17 hours drive away to get to where it's stored. So it's
Right,
not going to
right.
happen right now.
That's a little hike.
Yeah.
So, Ashella, with everything that's been going on, like how are you finding life right now? I know you're in northern BC.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I came
and-
up here to live with my daughter. And, you know, I mean, it's been incredible in so many ways, extremely stressful and overwhelming, especially because, like you, I'm of the perspective that this whole scenario is unfortunately designed to be a controlling mechanism.
yeah,
And so, and I've been in this awareness of this kind of thing for over 2 decades. So it wasn't really a huge surprise to me, but it doesn't change how impactful it felt. But I've got to say that as time goes by, and even right then at the beginning, I remember feeling like, well, at least things are becoming more out in the open, because I was always that odd person out, that strange duck that had these beliefs and lived kind of on the periphery of things just because I knew what really was happening. And so it was a bit of a relief to be able to at least talk about this stuff and see how much is coming out in the media. And I just think that's so amazing that it's finally up and out, almost like, the devil card of the tarot. In a way, it's like the medicine is bringing the sickness to the surface and we're getting to see it. It's really scary. But I also believe that for myself personally, the restrictions have been like an amazing pruning process that has helped to steer me more clearly towards what I'm really meant to be doing. For example, I would not have probably, embraced the online experience and shared so much of what I offer, even though people have been telling me for years to do it. I was old school, stuck in my ways, like, I don't believe in all that stuff. And, so it was good for me to find my own path, through that resistance. because I kind of felt called like a warrior in a way.
Yeah. All the warriors stood up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the things that I thought I was afraid of, putting my neck out, you know, in a way, it just sort of started to fall away. And I was like, now's the time.
Yeah.
And the other side of it is that I feel there's so much hope, not just hopefulness. I just see so much, you know, of the garbage falling away, and people finding their true purpose, their true strength, finding solidarity with the people that are in the same mindset. You know, to me, it's not about excluding people, but I think we just have to choose which direction we're going to go. And there's going to be people that are going in that same direction and people that go another way.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a parting of the waters, and I think that's natural at this time.
Yeah, there's quite a split, quite a divide. Like there are some people that I literally probably can't sit around and have a conversation with. It'll turn into an argument, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit stubborn. You might remember that about me. I'm a bit stubborn that I probably won't back down from the argument. And, you know, I just can't. And I want to use, and I know it's not the best word, but it's really what's happening. I just can't tolerate sleepers. Like if they're so asleep, it's very hard for me to talk to them for too long, because we're going to bump into a topic that they have no clue about. And to me, it's just like offensive that they're that sleepy.
Well, it is. And, you know, it has had a bit of almost like a natural sorting has happened, where we are finding people of like mind. It's almost like a vibration. We're on different vibrations, and we're just kind of like connecting with the ones that are similar minded. And in a way, I don't know, it's almost like there's spirit is doing the choosing for us. And I feel grateful for that. I mean, it is sad in some ways to see some people that I thought would be on the same team as me not. But I've already surrendered and been like, that's their karmic path, that's their choice.
Yep.
And for them, that's going to give them what they came here to learn, and that's not what I came here to learn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like right down to like I don't even want to do business with people. Like I wouldn't get a massage from somebody who's too fearful, because I don't want that energy around me. I'm like, I have an accountant I was just talking to today. I just sort of signed her up, and she's going to help me sort myself out. And she right away, I could talk about this stuff, not in depth, but she knew what I was talking about. And right away, I'm like, okay, this is the lady for me.
Yes.
We had a little Zoom call today, and I'm like, this is my accountant. You better believe it. She's an awake person. I'm going with her. Like,
yes,
it's dividing. It's unfortunate in a way, because it's really dividing communities. Like most of my family we're not really speaking in any in-depth way. And that's sad, but there's always been a bit of that anyway. So now it's just a little more obvious.
Yeah. Isn't that true? That it's almost like it's magnified things that were already there. Yeah.
So now you're willing to end or expanding the horizon with your readings, and you're wanting or you're inviting a world clientele, because I know you've done that before, but because we're talking to the whole world here.
I know, it's awesome. I've done it in a small way before, but I finally got all my stuff. It's been about a year and a half since I first put my website up and got the first edition of my first book done.
Yeah.
And I've been built, just like kind of learning the ropes. It takes a while, right, to work on all the kinks. And I'm finally got to a place where online reading seamlessly, my website pre-books everything. Everything is just,
so
to go.
How can they get a hold of you, Ashala?
So the best way is through my website, which is www.ieyeoftheworld .ca. It's a .ca. So if you post that below, then they can find me there. And everything is right there on my website, like my books, my classes, my readings. They can book, they can register for classes. It's all done there. They can subscribe to get information about what's coming up, and they can contact me directly through the email contact there. So it's all in one-stop shop.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a YouTube channel too.
I do. I just started that,
Okay.
and you know, it's a burgeoning little tiny thing. I do want to expand, and what I'm loving doing is right now is bi-monthly readings on the new moon and the full moon, and also the seasonal, you know, festivals, the seasonal markers of the year. So the solstices and the equinoxes, and then the cross quarters.
Oh, great.
So I've been putting, you know, I just sort of started, and there's a few things up there, but I plan to do lots more of that.
Okay, and is they would look for Ashala Yardley.
Yardley. Yeah, that's my full name.
So Ashala, so that'll be below for the spelling. I'll have it in the description on the video.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Now, a little treat we thought would be fun. Ashala and I discussed before this Zoom call. We thought it would be fun if we each looked at some cards on a subject. And I'm thinking the next 3 months, because as Ashala said, we're right on the spring equinox. Well, we're just before it. And isn't it tomorrow?
It might be tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not sure. Every year it's 20th or the 21st.
I think it's tomorrow. Anyway, we're right there. And so it'd be kind of neat to do the next 3 months, and that just what the spirit world wants to tell the viewers. And we'll have Ashala's version, and I'll pull 3 cards and have a look at what I get.
Lovely.
So let's shuffle up, Ashala.
Let's shuffle up.
It's been a while since we did this together.
It has. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh, we used to burn the midnight oil doing card readings on absolutely everything, you name it. Ashala would drink tea, but usually I resist drinking tea. You know, sometimes I could be persuaded to drink tea, but I'm more of a coffee girl, which would get me into trouble because then I couldn't sleep at all after that. Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. My golly gee. 3 major arcana right off the hop. Boom.
Okay, you go first, Ashala. Let's see what you got.
Well, I almost want to show them together because let's see, how do I have to do that? Past or 1, 2, 3. Like, check this out.
Wow. Yeah. So the Fool's the past?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm doing it sort of past, but I'm really recent past. Like, I'm just kind of doing like what we're bringing into it, where we're at right now, and where we're going, or something like that. But
so we've got the Fool, the Moon, and what was that last one?
And the Judgment card.
Whoa, major arcanas.
Major arcanas, all 3 of them. And I did not plan that. I shuffled really well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so you know, obviously this is a leap of faith for all of us. And you know, I feel like what I'm getting from this right now is that we're all a little bit out of our element, you know, like nothing like this has ever happened before. Nobody knows exactly what to believe or what to do. We're all a little bit feeling kind of foolish, maybe, or a little like we got to trust. We got to let go and be led by spirit. And I just love, though, always how bright this Fool card is, and how like there's a sense that we're being almost propelled, we're being pushed or energetically moved through something really big, encouraged to take this leap of faith, encouraged to kind of like well, I love how you talk about the red pills. And I see all that like hidden, you know, it's sort of like it's all around the mind of this Fool. And again, there's a sense that there's some energy holding us, like we're being protected, we're being guided
Yep.
through this time. And, you know, we also, I feel like it's an opportunity, like a lot of our inner stuff will come to the surface, almost like when you have, you know, when you're going through something big in your life and you'll have a whole bunch of nightmares or something like that. It feels like that's what we're going through collectively, where it's like, it feels like sometimes we're in a bad dream. I've actually had that experience where I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
I think this is really just a really long bad dream. But like, I need to wake up. Come on, it's like,
Yeah.
yuck, I don't, you know. So my sense is that it's, again, there's dredging, we're getting stuff up to the surface, and it's always been there.
Mhm.
So it's better that it's coming up to the surface. For some reason, I'm feeling the energy of like the lotus coming from that muck.
Mhm.
And again, just being drawn right up to the moon card.
Yeah.
If you go onto my YouTube channel, I did a forecast for the year, and I talked a lot about the divine feminine this year.
Yeah.
So the energy of the moon and our ability to tap in intuitively and literally be like, oh, like just avoiding the bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're just being, again, guided, and then like intuitively turning the right corner at the right time, or taking that right step at the right time. And it seems like we're going to be, those of us that are aware and don't get too bogged down into like there's no options. It feels like we're being guided.
Yeah.
And then of course this sense of divine intervention, but I mean, I get both. I get that there is divine intervention coming in the way of helpers, however you want to determine that. And I also get that our own, you know, we're in the year of the metal ox, is that right?
Yeah.
And so our own potency, our own ingenuity, I feel like it's just going to get fired up.
Yeah.
And we're going to rise to the call. We're going to rise to whatever challenges are in front of us. We're going to feel stronger and more like in solidarity than we ever have. So I see all three of these as being super powerful, super supportive. And yeah, let's just let this fool guide us.
Yeah.
And follow the messages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for some reason I'm hearing as long as 3 or 4 years. For some reason I'm being drawn to this quarter piece here in the center.
Yeah.
And the 3 or 4 years feels like it has something to do with like all the roads converging. So different aspects of our monetary system, our healthcare system, the education, all those major systems.
Yeah.
It's almost like we've got about 3 or 4 years to put our own new systems in place. I know I was only supposed to talk about 3 months, but I got a little longer feeling about this.
When you get major arcanas like that, you can't help, you got to look big, right?
Yeah. So and you know, I'm really involved. I'll just put out a little quick hint that I'm quite involved up here in northern BC in both the in sustainable local agricultural movement, you know, the kind of green movement up here. And I'm also involved in the alternative economics barter economy that's burgeoning up here.
Awesome.
So I feel like things like this are, you know, redeveloping or taking the power of a lot of these systems back into our own hands over the next 3 or 4 years. And it's almost a little bit like we don't have a lot of time, or like there's no need to really waste time arguing with people anymore. It's just carry on doing what we're doing and go in the direction we're going. We'll be busy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And speaking of bartering and food bartering, this fellow that I used to read for, now he wants a tutorial on how to set up a YouTube channel, et cetera, lighting and technical things, which is really funny that I'm giving him technical advice. That's almost a riot, but he insists upon it. He's a local farmer and sort of like a very special farm, like specialty farmer, where he's like, grain-fed chickens, and like he practically loves his chickens through their life. And yeah, he's like so kind, such a kind Pisces. Anyway, he offered me 5 chickens for who had a good life, by the way, for the work we're gonna do together. I'm like, absolutely. I got toys to feed. Let's do it.
And that's just the beginning. Like, I feel it's gonna be sweet to see how we can rebuild. I don't think we have to, but there's so much technology and so much information available. I don't think we have to go backwards. I think we go forwards together.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe my years in the Haida chopping my own wood's gonna come in handy in the future. And we bartered everything up there.
That's
right. We
right.
bartered everything. It was like halibut for card readings, and wow, I was making a lot of money that way. Yeah. So thanks, Ashala.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That sounds exciting.
I want to hear what you see. Tell me what you see. Whoa.
I've got the first card pull was the Knight of Wands, bit of a warrior card. It could even be, it's been coming up as my military card. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the next one, so I'm kind of reading them like you did, sort of as 3 as a unit, sort of.
Yeah.
And we've got the 6 of Wands, which is very well aspecting that warrior, and then an ace. So I think we're going to see, so there's something coming that might be brought on by military or some very passionate good people, because it's well aspected. So good warriors, okay, where there could be information coming out that really brings us to a much better place with that 6 of Wands, where now we get to be the truthers, because this is a message for the truthers all watching this. We get to finally get on top and stop being the underdogs, the losers, and the crazy ones. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stop being called, the what theorists or whatever. We get a victory finally, because we need a victory. And this ace tells me even in the next month we're going to see it. And it has something to do with information coming out that just really clarifies things. So there's some big changes in what's officially known. And we know that that's been used as a weapon this whole, probably lifetime that we've spent, but not just that, but in particular, this has been an information war. So that ace tells me that we're going to get a switch where we go from being the ones that everybody's laughing at, like we're the losers, to, okay, we got validity finally. We got something we can get our teeth into, as I've been saying, where something comes out that makes it so obvious that we are not crazy. We got the right idea, actually. Okay, so that's actually what I've been waiting for, something like that. And it feels like it might be brought on by warriors of some, we're all digital warriors in a way, and there's truthers and all these people speaking about things from their heart, and there's so many people stepping up. So this doesn't have to be, it could be partly the white hats and the alliance that I call the white hats and the alliance, but it could also be all the digital warriors. But something's shifting. We're going into, like that card says, new territory.
Yeah.
And with speed, because when you got a wand card like that, we got some speed behind it. And like Ashala said, with that Fool, we've never been here before. In my lifetime, I've never been at a place, and I don't know anybody who's been in a place where we're literally in this very elusive, but clearly a war of some kind. And we've actually woken up to realize, and I know a lot of people knew this, and it sounds like Ashala, you've been onto this a lot longer than me. more officially, right? Where I knew something was off, and I didn't trust governments, and I certainly didn't, as Ashella knows this, I certainly didn't trust any religious leaders and any kind of organized sort of religion. I don't trust. Okay, I know that there's some good people there, and I know there's wonderful Christians and wonderful of every kind of denomination, but it's the oppression of the organized thing part that's gotten well, just taken advantage of the power. So any power structures I was always suspicious of, but I didn't put it so together as we've literally got 13 or 14 families ruling the entire planet. And in fact, they're trying to take us out, frankly, long story short. And the ones they do keep around are literally, and have been anyway, under the surface, but we're literally their enslaved peoples. And they're going to get even more specific about that, it looks like, or that's the plan. That was the dastardly plan. Okay, but that looks like we are fast moving in the next 3 months into finally some territory with a lot of help from the warriors, all kinds of warriors. And this could also talk about mainstream media taking a big hit, which would be brilliant, because really, we can't really get to that good place without the mainstream media taking a big hit.
Yes.
Being exposed.
Definitely. And we've just got to pray that people keep their wits about them. That's been partly the most disappointing part for me, is seeing how people are using less and less of their critical thinking ability, and they're just getting more easily sort of brainwashed. And yet, like I said, I feel like there's many people that are also getting very clear. I'm reminded of something I read years and years ago in, I think it was something channeled by Barbara Marciniak about the Pleiadians or something like that. And she was speaking on their behalf and saying that one of the things they're most amazed about us humans is that we are very unpredictable. And even with all of this surveillance and all of the, the ways that they're tracking us on social media and our profiles and this and that and the other thing, it's like, you just don't know. People do about faces, like it's like, so I think that to keep that in mind, that is a little bit of that fool energy too, like, just notice, are you getting too predictable? Do you need to open up and change your perspective a little bit? Because I think that's the thing that is the hardest for them to manage, is us being free will beings that change our minds.
And we could suddenly, like, I certainly changed my mind about, for instance, the Trump bunch. Like, you could, because it just dawned on me that my cards helped me, of course, but it just dawned on me that I think I got this all upside down. I need to take a step away from this until I figure it out, which I did. And thank goodness crow is one of my biggest totems, and ravens, of course, but crows. And I eat a lot of crow this lifetime, and that's a great quality, because I have a big kind of I'm the big mouth schnook type sometimes, where I got a really big opinion and I'm loud and proud about it. But as soon as I'm absolutely sure I'm wrong about it, I'll be the first one coming on going, sort of got that wrong. That's my Aries rising. And that's okay. Because that's part of being a human, but you need to admit it though, and you need to carry on from there, and don't beat yourself up, because it's just part of the process.
It totally is. And it's that ability for us to like let go and be wrong. Like I was saying, the fools, we've never done this before, and so we're going to make some mistakes, but as long as we keep following that guidance, that inner guidance, that intuition, like you said, there's something fishy, you're like, okay, what's around the next corner?
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're going to call it an end here to our little Zoom call. But it was absolutely wonderful that you came on with me today, Ashella.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Janine. It was my honor and my pleasure. I look forward to connecting more in the near future. Now that we've reconnected,
wonderful. Yeah, we should collaborate when things get, you know, a little crazy, maybe every 3 months or so, we'll get together on a Zoom call.
That would
And
be awesome.
that there could be some emergency times we're gonna need to do it too, though.
Sure,
know,
let's do that.
Great.
Absolutely.
feminine,
I'd be
minds.
really happy if you want to just call on me for backup, you know, divination, looking at things. I'd love to.
Awesome.
Yeah, call on me anytime.
Yay.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, so Ashella Yardley, and that's her YouTube, and you can find her on YouTube. Sounds like you might be doing more YouTubing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the new, and I think it's going to get better on YouTube, by the way. I know it's been hard for people, but I think it's going to get better. Both myself and a couple other truthers are getting that feeling too. I'm going to just ride it out, because we don't have long for this silliness. I really feel that. And these two readings we just saw, I think they're backing that up somewhat. So yeah, I'm sticking to that. That's what I get for sure, is this is going to get flipped on its butt, and I can't even wait. Oh, it'll be celebration time.
It's so will. It's so
Yeah.
will. Yes.
And then of course,
both, to me, it's both the outside and the inside. Like,
yeah,
you know, we're just growing leaps and bounds right now.
when you go through the dark night of the soul, like, and that moon card kind of indicated that to me when you pulled the moon card there right after the Fool. It's like we're all in that dark tunnel, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. You better believe it. And that Judgment Day is like a rebirth, right? That could be like rebirthing, because those people are coming back out of the graves. So and Judgment Day is in the near future for, guess who? The dark cult people that have been involved in this repression and literally taken out of humans. Like, that's literally that was the plan. It's not going to work, but it was the plan. You better believe it. And we nipped it in the bud. We being, you know, the universal energy, of course, the woken up folks, and the wonderful alliance that have been working on our behalf for many years. And just everybody's intention right now to move it over and get the heck off this train track that looks like it's about to crash into, you know, the human demise, really. But that is not going to happen. Not on my watch, and not on Ashella's watch.
That's right.
Not on the viewer's watch. No way.
And we're going to take these lemons and make lemonade with
Yeah, we're going to, because that's always what happens when you go through the hard stuff. A whole bunch of good stuff happens after that. Right. Like, there'll be, like they say, many years of prosperity and abundance, but we're going to need to be diligent, where we're not giving our power away, and we're paying attention, and we're calling people up on their stuff. Like, if anybody's getting out of line as a politician and you know, not doing what they were asked to do, because that's a privilege that they get to be sort of you know, people representing a whole group of people. I think we're going to need to keep a really close eye on, in particular, those people, but also any kind of people we put in leading positions of any kind. And I think we got to boot all the royals, toss them, every one of them. Like, royals, how are they better than everybody else? No, right? So that's got to end. Yeah, so we, all of those things that are just ridiculous, like, all humans are worthy and beautiful and have a place. And nobody is to be bowed to, not in my opinion.
You know, and there's new heroes and new leaders. Like, I just see there's all this new energy. Well, new, I guess, isn't the right word, but progressive is the word. There's just so much progressive energy happening at the same time as all this kind of dumbing down, you know, restriction stuff. There's just so much progressive stuff happening. So I say that those are our new leaders. Those are our new heroes.
Yeah, and spending a little time with your daughter showed me that we're in good hands. And spending time with my son, and then what I call my adopted son, but the fellow that came to live with me a couple of years ago, like, we're in good hands. There's some wonderful young people out there, and they're brilliant. Actually, there's, you know, there's the good of everybody's going to get a chance to shine here.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you so much. It was wonderful having you on.
So wonderful to share with you, Janine, and with your beautiful audience.
Right on.
Blessings to everyone.
Thank you so much. And don't forget to visit Ashella at her YouTube. Let's go check that out and encourage her a little with a bunch of new viewers
Thank you.
and subscribers. And then of course her
Website. My website.
Yeah. Which tell it again.
Eye of the World, EYEOFTHEWORLD.ca.
CA. Right on. And it'll
Yeah.
be below on the video. Thanks again, everybody.
Blessings.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.